Dream Warriors. This is it. 31 Days of Dread, day 26. This is the movie you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for this movie. It's Blood Valley, Seed's Revenge. This movie has like 20 other titles. Not really. I'm exaggerating. But let's hit that music and we're going to go over them. Okay. Coming out of that music. So I don't know what is happening. So I normally create notes and just have like a side piece of paper when I go through, like things I want to discuss, or if I'm watching a movie, I'll have my Google Docs open and I'll jot down a couple pointers, and usually in the beginning of movies and sometimes at the end, like I'll just get these ideas and things I want to discuss. And so for this one, believe it or not, some of the initial research I did for this movie was from Seed, the original, the 2007 first part of this movie, because wonderfully, just like day one or episode one of the 31 Days of Dread, the Bunnyman Massacre, I had no idea that was a sequel. I didn't know this was a sequel, even though it's got revenge in the title. When I was going through Netflix has this really cool thing where when you pause on the thumbnail, it plays a preview. And some of them are really cool. Some of them, like, they get you into the movie. The one that played for this looked like it was like a Grindhouse movie, and I was like, whoa, okay, let me just, because I love Hobo with a Shotgun. I'm thinking this might be like a diamond in the rough, and because it's Grindhouse, I'm thinking it's called Seed's Revenge because it's hard, like it's just where like they would just put titles on things. And so when I was watching this movie, I started researching it, found out that it was, I was a little bit deep into the movie by that point. I wanted to finish watching it, but definitely Oibo, who I knew produced this movie from the credits, he produced, directed, and wrote the first one. I'm very anxious to see the first one of this. This movie was directed by Marcel Walls. I had to look him up. He has just long history, maybe medium history, we'll say, of torture movies, foreign torture movies, and this movie's no different. So it's an interesting movie. It's definitely wants to be a Texas Chainsaw, like a desert, a yellow orange haze, a bright horror movie. And I said it with, Rob Zombie's 31. No one shoots daytime or daylight sunshine horror like Rob Zombie. I don't think ever. I think he's the best at it, and this movie just clarifies that. Even though those movies have different budgets, uh, different intent, different ideas around those movies, but you can have two slasher movies with the same exact plot, but the ideas around the movie can be vastly different. And by the ideas, I mean by what the director wants it to do and what he's portraying to the crew and to the actresses. But the plot of this movie is it's relatively simple. We have some girls in a camper. They are going to a bachelorette party, and then everything kind of happens. And along the way, we have a betrayal. We have a family of freaks, and and with religious overtones. So the biggest disappointment for this movie wasn't really the acting. Uh, it was really the special effects and the gore in the movie, where there was kind of like sleight of hand camera tricks and camera movements used, and the horror is shown but not shown. It's not deep enough. I think it should have been more exploitive. It should have been gruesome. It definitely has scenes for that. Uh, the other part that really stood out, that the only really thing that took me out of this movie was some of the makeup by the women. It just looks so fake. It looks caked on, and is it? I don't know if it's because like you just want to kind of say like, are these women dating the producers? Are they dating Oribo? Are they girlfriends? Because most of them seemed a little slightly too old, just too old to not need that type of makeup to be on camera. There's a patriarch, a woman of the family, and she's dressed as a sheriff in the entire movie. Her character definitely was the weakest character, to where she should have been this crazy driving force. It didn't come off that way, but in all, like, just going through the motions of watching a movie like this, it's easy to just sit back and take it for what it is. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's hard to say you gotta go out and watch it. But it's these types of movies are just fun. They're fun to exist, and these are the definition of horror movies. This and Bunny Man Massacre are the definitions of horror, because you can have this very low level, like a lean, like a startup style production, where they're all eating from 7-Eleven. Basically, they're eating from convenience stores to get through this movie, and you can get something that you can add to the genre, and sometimes the elements fall into place. I thought this movie had great music. I thought it had good editing. I thought it had good camera movements. It was shot in the day, and it looks like it's shot in the day. I know that's kind of like an easy thing to do, but it definitely looks like that there's heat, like physical heat, within this movie. And so we kind of march on with movies like this, and it's important for us to understand where these movies are and when they're made, and somewhat how they're made, and who they're made by. Kind of like the pillars of the process, because no other genre lends itself to these ideas. Okay, lowbrow. I think we got party underneath us, which is fine, because the people that live underneath me, I've been probably driving them crazy all freaking month. They, I owe them, but yeah, and plus I'm hitting the gym anyway, so I'm going to talk to you guys, and then I'm getting the heck out of here. But so you can't have comedies on this level. You cannot have dramas on this level. You can hardly even have documentaries on this level. Horror, for some reason, and I think it's one of the magical pieces of the genre, the magical elements that exist within horror. It lends itself to cheap. It lends itself to dirty. It lends itself to like bad, like like BAD filmmaking, question mark. I don't know, but you don't have you don't have dramas on this level. Okay, the only low budget drama I think I ever got engaged by was The Laws of Gravity, by, I think, Nicholas Gomez directed that. Oh, I forget the director. And Slacker, but Slacker's one, you gotta be in the mood for that one. But Laws of Gravity just captures me. Kids, super low budget one too. Thank you, Larry Clark, for that. Um, like, I don't know, like Richard Linklater's. I'm just thinking about Slacker right now. I've seen Richard Linklater's Slacker one time. I might be happy with that, but I've seen Laws of Gravity. I've seen Kids multiple times. Bully too. I think Bully had a slightly larger budget than Kids. So horror just wants to exist. It wants to push boundaries, and it just wants to march along. And this movie is a part of that conversation. The other piece of the movie that I was drawn to was the the Leatherface looking dude, the Jason Voorhees looking guy. I thought he looked good. Seeing him on camera, from different angles, different lighting, definitely made me back away from that decision. I think the brooding, quiet, muscle, the Bane that we see in these family driven movies now, because it's one of the conventions that we got with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's been echoed ever since. But yeah, uh, I think some of his designs, some of his presence could have been more there. I do want to see the 2007 seed though. I want to see Oibo. I'm a fan of Oibo. I might be the only person. I know I think he has a weird bad reputation because he got into Twitter battles with people. But the dude's like a Lloyd Kaufman. He just makes movies. He knows how to make. His Rampage series is awesome. I love those movies. I think he's got one too, like where I know there's a president in one of them, which I haven't seen. I saw the two, but there's like a Wall Street one that was just awesome. And Oribo too is he's just a filmmaker, producer, writer. He's definitely a part of the idea that you cannot make a good movie from a video game. And the reason for this is because video games don't have enough body, there's not enough story, there's not enough lore, mythology, period. This is why Halo, because of the book series and the comics, but mostly the novels, add so much lore to the Halo mythology that it's easy, it's low hanging fruit to be a success cinematically. Halo is the only one, but Oibo, he did Far Cry, he made a name with Blood Rain, Near Dark, I think House of the Dead too. I think he made, but but people hate him, and I don't know why. He makes silly fun movies. So yeah, so I got watching this movie under false pretenses. It's not a schlock grindhouse, haha, like wink wink type feature. It's not. This is very serious. It has poor special effects. It has poor use of violence. I think they could have went harder. They could have went tougher. They could have went more disgusting and more disturbing with the violence. That's the trade-off for movies like this. But then again, too, we're also dealing limited characters and limited environment. This movie looks like it was shot in someone's backyard, probably, possibly, but I don't know. It was tough for me to get through this though, because I did meander. Was taking notes for other episodes for the 31 Days of Dread. I was working on other things, and the movie didn't capture me, didn't engage me. The characters are not weird enough. It just didn't go far enough. It didn't go into the conventions. It didn't. It ignored them. It just went right up to the line and said, I hope this is good enough. I thought the movie could have used more nudity. It could have used more blood. It really could have been in a transformative experience, a visceral experience. But yeah, I just have to watch Seed. So, signing off for now. Another shorter episode, but I'm going to talk about it already because I'm pumped. I watched Dead Zone. I got notes on Dead Zone. Dead Zone. Oh my God, that was a bucket list movie. So I'm going to discuss that because we're continuing little themes here, little threads within the 31 Days of Dread. The Threads of Dread. There you go. And it's David Cronenberg. So this is one of the only Cronenberg movies I have not seen, and I'm really excited to talk to everyone about it. So that's going to be day 27 of the 31 Days of Dread. So that's coming up. But yeah, in the meantime, fight on, people. Let's kind of find more movies like this, and still give those filmmakers some credit, because it's not easy work. It's not. It's hard.